Hello friends. Today I wanted to finish the video. Unfortunately, it was about 2.5 hours long, so it was just too long to do it one sitting, especially with me still working full time. Today I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of it, if I can, which is about 2/3 of it is still left, but it's where the president actually talks to the uh, public, or well, it's more like to the press, but he's directing it to the public. So it's a really interesting talk, and I hope that you find it as interesting as I did. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start the video.
Bueno, pues esto es la información. Abrimos para preguntas. Hay una lista larga de compañeras, compañeros. Se apuntaron ayer. Es que
So he says, we're going to start now the questions and answers. And there's a long list because some people had signed themselves up yesterday already. So he's calling on people that signed up yesterday that didn't get a chance to answer.
si nos vamos a la lista y luego vamos a procurar hacerlo pronto.
So he tries to be fair.
Hans.
Buenos días, presidente, secretarios, funcionarios. Hans Salazar de Sin Censura con Vicente Serrano.
So this is Hans Salazar, and he works with Vicente Serrano on Sin Censura.
Bien, mire, presidente, el día de ayer pues ha sido intenso en cuestión de reacciones.
So he's saying that yesterday's video, and at that time it was the video regarding the planes raffle, and that was the one where he made mention of him not feeling dwarfed by this huge plane, that he had what was the word he used, that he didn't feel, I don't know, like a complex about being a short man against this big plane. And that became some kind of a big, I don't know, it's viral or something on the internet.
Estos días han sido de reacciones en las redes sociales por múltiples razones y por la propia corrupción que es el tema central de todo esto, de los videos, grabaciones, etc.
And also he says it's brought questions about the videos, and that there's some question about some of the videos that were shot. And I think they're referring to the president's brother. There's a well-known journalist, Mexican journalist, that was paid by the media to discredit the president and anybody who was against corruption. He got large sums of money, plus he was found to have made created some videos on some kind of a kidnapping some time back. So the he was also found to have lied about being in war, and made it or something about when he went to a war zone, he had them fire a cannon so it looked like he was in the middle of a live war, but it was just like a test or something. But anyway, so Loret de Mola, he's put out some video, leaked a video about the president's brother, and it was meant to discredit him. And so they tried to put that out at the time that The video was supposed to come out regarding Lozoya, who was going to be naming names about who was involved in the corruption of the Pemex case. So this was a well-known situation that was happening, and they're bringing it to discussing it right now.
Quisiera yo preguntarle sobre el tema, por ejemplo, de que la Fiscalía en Estados Unidos.
So he says, I wanted to ask you regarding this case in the United States. The district attorney or the legal department there in the U.S. Has brought something up, or he's bringing up something regarding the legal department in the U.S.
Le he entregado al abogado de Genaro García Luna 12 audios nuevos de comunicaciones interceptadas, por supuesto en su contra, por los delitos.
So that apparently in the case of Lozoya, in Genaro Luna, who was in charge of the military, I believe, in Mexico, and he's being tried in the U.S. for, corruption and crimes and being involved with the drug cartel, and also, as it turns out, there was evidence that it was with the knowledge of the then presidents, Calderón, and also Peña Nieto, and basically that all these illegal acts were being done with the approval of the government that was in place at the time he was in office, that they were promoting and assisting in the drugs with the famous cartel from Sinaloa. So anyway, that's what they're discussing right now.
De narcotráfico, todo esto que se ha estado mencionando y que bueno, no sería necesario repetir. Pero también está el tema de que la Fiscalía General de la República también ya tiene comunicaciones interceptadas por la DEA, en este caso contra el gobernador de Tamaulipas.
So apparently he's mentioning something about the cartel in Tijuana, and they've got something to do with the governor.
Tamaulipas, el señor Cabeza.
Oh, from the governor of Tamaulipas.
De Vaca, donde pues se señala que podría haber sido beneficiado de
that governor from Tamaulipas. It was pointed out that he might have been benefiting from some of what he's about to mention.
Del crimen organizado.
So he was benefiting from some of the money that was being made by organized crime.
Podría ser. Hay una investigación.
And that it apparently could be, and there's an investigation to that fact.
Y de acuerdo también a información ya publicada, la Unidad de Inteligencia Financiera ya tiene.
So that there was, regarding some information that has already been published by the financial department.
Tiene, pues, investigaciones abiertas al respecto.
That there's open investigations regarding that matter.
También es importante que comentar que pues el expresidente Calderón en este.
And so he says it's also important to make a comment that ex-president Calderón also.
En todo este escenario, por eso los estoy citando, ha tuiteado permanentemente, ha estado expresándose, pues en torno a pues un ataque permanente, ¿no?, a su actuar.
So he says he's been permanently attacking everything that you do, on like tweeting and on the social webs. President Calderón is involved in trying to discredit the current president and everything that he does that, whether it be beneficial or not for the people, which so far everything has been beneficial for the people.
Al actuar de usted, por ejemplo, si está promocionando la rifa en alusión al avión presidencial, usted ya ha lanzado un video de, pues, promocionando esta rifa y reacciona de manera virulenta.
So, for example, that you since you brought up the video promoting the raffle of the plane, that he responded in a violent way to that video that you made.
Permanentemente. Ya ha dicho que por qué no sube, por ejemplo, un video.
So then he says permanently attacking you, and then he also said, why don't you put up another video?
Pues de su hermano.
Of course, the video of your brother, who in a video that they had, the one that they leaked, they made it look like he was accepting bribes.
David León, que ya usted ha abordado en una conferencia pasada.
And something that you had already discussed in a previous conference.
Pero reaccionando a esto, por ejemplo, Abraham Mendieta, un activista.
But reacting to this, Abraham Mendieta, who is an activist,
y que ha estado permanentemente también actuando en el periodismo,
who has also been acting permanently in the periodicals,
pues le responde con un video de La Tuta, donde ya no es nuevo.
And then he responded with a video of La Tuta, who I'm not familiar who that is, but he says, but it's not a new video, it's an old video also.
Donde señala que pues la hermana de Calderón,
where it signals out, I guess Tuta is his sister. He says where it signals out that the sister of Calderón,
que pues recibía favores de este narcotraficante,
that she was receiving favors from this narcotics trafficker, which is Genaro Garcia Luna, who's the one who's being prosecuted.
Que actualmente está preso.
And he's actually incarcerated at the moment, he said.
En fin, todo este escenario, y esa es la pregunta, presidente, nos lleva a una crispación de una situación delicada.
So, Mr. President, the question is, this all takes us to a delicate situation.
Después de esta reacción, de este tuit a Calderón.
So, after this tweet from Calderón and his reaction to, I guess, the video,
recibe ya amenazas directas, por ejemplo, Abraham Mendieta.
So now Abraham Mendieta, I guess, who was the activist, received some threats.
La semana pasada fue asesinado, por ejemplo, ya también un periodista.
And he says last week a journalist was assassinated
en Coahuila.
In Coahuila.
Y bueno, empieza a enrarecerse todo este tema entre videos, grabaciones, etc.
So all these things between recordings and videotapings is coming to a head.
Yo le pregunto al presidente para que no en el riesgo de que no se siga desbordando esta situación.
And sir, I bring it to your attention at risk that and hoping that this situation doesn't go off the rails.
¿Qué es lo que se ha tratado en las mesas de seguridad pública frente a todo este escenario tan complejo que tenemos en el
What have they done, or your people done, to protect or to handle this situation
país?
and to protect our country?
Yo creo que es un momento importante.
I believe that it's an important moment.
Estelar
It's actually stellar
en la historia de México.
in the history of Mexico.
Y debemos de ver lo positivo.
And we need to look at it in a positive light.
Tenemos la gran oportunidad,
We have the great opportunity,
los mexicanos,
the Mexican people,
de desterrar la corrupción.
of unearthing corruption.
Si no de manera definitiva,
If not in a definitive way,
para ser objetivos
in order to be
y
objective,
alejarla por mucho tiempo de la vida pública.
but at least to get it out of the public ways, at least for a long time.
De acabar con la peste
To end with the pestilence
de la corrupción.
of corruption.
Yo creo que no se había presentado en mucho tiempo una oportunidad como esta.
I believe that an opportunity had not presented itself in a very long time like this one.
Entonces no debemos dejar pasar
So therefore, we must not let it pass,
esta oportunidad.
this opportunity.
Y debemos de ir al fondo.
And we must get to the bottom of it.
Y tenemos elementos. Hay dos casos
And we do have elements. There are two cases
emblemáticos
that are exemplary,
graves.
that are grave.
Las declaraciones de el exdirector de Pemex,
The declarations of the ex-director of Pemex, who by the way is Lozoya,
del señor
Lozoya,
que involucra a expresidentes,
which involves or names ex-presidents,
a funcionarios,
high-functioning officials,
a legisladores
legislators
que recibieron sobornos,
that received bribes,
según el señor Lozoya,
according to Mr. Lozoya,
o autorizaron
or they authorized
actos de corrupción.
acts of corruption.
Y el otro asunto,
And the other matter,
también emblemático,
also kind of exemplary,
es el del señor García Luna.
is the matter of Garcia Luna. And when I say exemplary, that's probably not the most proper word. He said emblematic, which means like you can look at it as a something that, well, that's why I used exemplary, because it's an example, not necessarily a good example, but an example of some of the things that are going on.
De cómo el secretario de Seguridad Pública
And that is Garcia Luna, the Secretary of Public Security
durante el gobierno de Felipe Calderón
during the government of Felipe Calderón
estaba al servicio de una de las bandas de la delincuencia organizada.
he was at the service of one of the gangs of organized crime.
Cómo se puede parecer
So how you can have these things befall you,
o es lo más cercano
or it is the closest thing
a un narcoestado.
to a narcotic state.
Porque la acusación que se está haciendo al Señor
Because the accusation that is being made against that man
versa sobre sobornos
it deals with bribes
recibidos para permitir actividades ilícitas
and these bribes were received to permit illicit activities
del narcotráfico
of narcotic trafficking,
y al mismo tiempo combatir, desaparecer
and at the same time combating and causing to disappear
a otras bandas rivales.
other rival gangs or rings.
Se habla de que se recibió dinero
And they speak of money that was received
y que había contubernio.
and that there was commingling and where they uncovered or they allowed it.
Esto pues es gravísimo.
And this, of course, is very grave.
Entonces, ¿qué se tiene que hacer?
So then, what needs to be done?
Actuar con responsabilidad
Act responsibly
y hacer valer el Estado de Derecho.
and make the state of correctness be valued.
Que la Fiscalía
And that the legal department or district attorney
General de la República,
the General of the Republic,
que es un organismo autónomo,
which is an autonomous organism or organization,
lleve a cabo toda la investigación
that they should take and do the whole investigation to its end,
como lo está haciendo.
the way they are doing it.
Y que te logre saber
And that they make it possible to be known
a ciencia cierta lo sucedido,
and to ascertain what has occurred,
que se conozca la verdad
so that the truth be known,
que se recupere lo robado
and that that which was stolen be recovered,
y que se castigue a los responsables.
and that the responsible parties be punished.
Entonces, no debemos molestarnos
So therefore, we must not allow ourselves to be bothered
no verlo como algo negativo,
and not look at this as something negative
polarizante,
or something that would be controversial,
de confrontación.
with confrontations.
Al contrario,
On the contrary,
si todos ayudamos,
if all of us help,
todos los mexicanos,
all the Mexican people,
a que ya no haya en el futuro
so that there not be in the future
actos de corrupción,
acts of corruption,
México va a dar un salto hacia adelante de grandes.
then Mexico would take leaps forward that were of greatness,
Dimensiones.
that is dimensions, great dimensions.
Es el renacimiento de México,
It would be a rebirth
porque nada ha dañado más a México
because nothing has damaged Mexico more
que la corrupción.
than corruption.
Por eso hablo de la peste.
And that's why I say it's a pestilence.
Un país con tantos recursos naturales, con tantas riquezas, ¿no?
A country that is so full of natural resources, cultural resources, and riches,
Un pueblo bueno, trabajador,
and a people that is good and hardworking,
que no sale adelante
and they cannot get ahead,
que no progresa
that cannot progress, and it does not progress,
que por el contrario
that on the contrary,
tiene millones de mexicanos en la pobreza.
it has millions of Mexican people in poverty.
¿Cuál es la explicación?
So what is this explanation?
Lógica.
It's logical.
Pues lo hemos dicho muchas veces, la corrupción
We've said it many times. It's the corruption
que había imperado
that had reigned.
¿Cómo es posible que en Dinamarca
So how is it possible then that in Denmark,
que no hay corrupción,
where there is no corruption,
no hay pobreza,
there is no poverty,
no hay inseguridad, no hay
there is no insecurity,
violencia,
no violence,
y así otros países?
and like this, other countries?
Los daneses no saben qué es la corrupción.
The Danish don't know what corruption is.
Es algo ajeno,
It is something foreign to them,
completamente,
completely,
a su vida pública y hasta a su vida personal.
in their public life and even in their personal lives.
Por eso tienen establecido el estado de bienestar,
And that's why they have established a state of well-being,
pensiones para adultos mayores,
pensions for the elderly,
servicio médico gratuito,
free medical services,
educación gratuita,
free education,
nivel de desarrollo de primera,
first-rate level of development,
pero no hay corrupción.
but no corruption.
Y así otros países.
And the same way with other countries.
La tragedia de México
The tragedy of Mexico
ha sido siempre el que ha imperado la corrupción.
is that corruption had reigned,
Y sobre todo en este último periodo,
but most of all in this last period,
que se dedicaron a saquear,
because they've devoted themselves to looting.
¿Cómo resolvemos este asunto?
And how do we resolve this matter?
Pues con apego a la legalidad,
And we do it by sticking or adhering to the law,
con un auténtico Estado de Derecho
with an authentic state of right or correctness
que no existía.
which did not exist.
Era un estado de chueco,
It was a state of crookedness,
de cohecho,
of co-behaviors.
Ahora pues está demostrando
And now it is being demonstrated
de que no hay impunidad.
that there is no impunity.
¿Cuándo se había llegado a que un exdirector de Pemex, un alto funcionario, declarara sobre actos de corrupción?
When had there ever been a ex-director of Pemex that had discussed or told of acts of corruption?
¿Cuándo se había contado con un testimonio
When had they ever counted on a testimony,
público oficial
public and official,
de 60 cuartillas con el relato
with 60 pages of declaration
de actos de corrupción,
of acts of corruption,
como está expresado en la denuncia del señor Lozoya?
the way it is expressed in the document and declaration of Mr. Lozoya,
Más las pruebas que tiene que presentar.
and then the evidence that he must present.
Por eso hablo de que es un momento estelar.
And that's why I say it's a stellar moment.
Lo de García Luna,
The matter of Garcia Luna,
toda la información, en efecto,
all the information that's in effect.
todavía antier,
And as of yesterday, or day before yesterday,
más pruebas
there was more evidence
en el juicio.
in the judgment.
No solo llamadas,
Not only calls,
o eso es lo que se entiende,
or at least that's what we
Sino-
understand,
investigación sobre cuentas
but also investigations regarding accounts,
bancarias,
bank accounts,
sobre manejo de dinero.
and the management of money.
Pues vamos adelante
So let's move forward.
a limpiar,
Let's clean.
y todos debemos de ayudar.
And all of us must help.
Y en el caso de los expresidentes,
And in the case of the ex-presidents,
para que no me vayan a acusar
so that I won't be accused
de vengativo o de verdugo
of being vengeful or being the source of attack.
Hay manera de conformidad con la Constitución
There is ways
de
of
que se lleve a cabo una consulta
constituting in the
y que decidamos entre todos.
Constitution that we request consultation and we can decide between all of us.
Hay, lo expuse ayer, 3 posibilidades y se está en tiempo porque no se podría llevar a cabo una consulta si no es del primero.
Okay, I've got to go back and let you know. The word verdugo means executioner. I looked it up because I wasn't really clear on it. But he said he didn't want to be the executioner or he didn't want to be the one to go after them. That if the people choose to, they can use the legal recourses to do so.
De septiembre, mejor dicho, la solicitud, si no se cumple con el procedimiento, del 1 al 15 de septiembre. Y de casualidad coincide de que hay esa oportunidad porque estamos en vísperas de ese término. Si se solicitara el 16 de septiembre, ya no. Ya en todo este...
He says it has to be done before the 15th of September. If it's done on the 16th, it would be too late to put in that request.
Este año no se podría, ni el año próximo.
It wouldn't be able to be done the next year either.
Es del 1 al 15.
It has to be between the 1st and the 15th.
¿Y cómo se puede llevar a cabo la consulta?
And how can we bring about this consult?
Repito, si el 2% de los ciudadanos
It is if 2% of the citizens
inscritos en el padrón electoral
these in the electoral pattern
lo solicitan.
if they solicit it.
O sea, se necesitan 1.500.000, 1.600.000 firmas.
That means they would need 1,500,000 to 1,600,000 signatures
Que se tienen que entregar antes del día 15.
and it would need to be turned over before the 15th,
de septiembre.
and that would be of September.
Lo segundo, que establece la Constitución y la ley de la materia,
And the second part, which is established in the Constitution in the material part,
es que se puede llevar a cabo la consulta
is that they could take the consult
si lo solicita la tercera parte de los legisladores
if 1/3 of the legislators requested it
de cualquiera de las cámaras,
of any of
que sea
the
la Cámara de Diputados o la Cámara de Senadores.
any of the houses of deputies or representatives. Okay, so I'm going to look up the word. He said the word he said was consulta para quitar presidente. So I want to see what the proper terminology. Oh, it's called a query to remove the president. Okay. So the word consulta means query.
Y la tercera posibilidad es que la consulta la solicite el presidente.
And he said the third way would be for the query to be requested by the president himself.
Ya ayer se habló de esto.
And we spoke about this yesterday.
A mí me gustaría mucho que fuesen los ciudadanos.
And I would like it, or prefer it very much, if it were the citizens.
Que los ciudadanos que están porque se juzga a los expresidentes,
Because the citizens that are in favor of judging the ex-presidents
den su firma.
give their signatures.
¿Quién organiza? Los mismos ciudadanos.
And who would organize it? The citizens themselves,
La misma gente.
the people themselves.
Si no pueden los ciudadanos,
But if the citizens are unable,
en segunda instancia, los
in this case, or if this should happen,
legisladores.
then it would be the legislators.
Yo me quedo hasta el final.
And I would be the last resort.
Porque no necesito recoger firmas, es presentar el escrito.
Because I don't want to be involved in doing that.
Vamos a ver qué sucede.
So let's see what occurs.
Si lo solicita los ciudadanos,
And if it is the query is solicited by the citizens,
presenta las firmas,
and they present the signatures,
ya pasa esa solicitud
then the I don't know, the query would pass
a la Suprema Corte de Justicia.
it would go to the Supreme Court of Justice.
Y ahí se decide si se cumple con los requisitos y
And there it is decided if you're complying with the requisites or requirements,
si es constitucional
and if it is constitutional
la consulta.
to have that query.
Y luego de esa resolución va al INE.
And then after that resolution is done, then it goes to the INE, which is the department that does, I believe, well, let me see what INE is. E-N, wait, let me make it an E. INE. Well, it's one of the legal, I think it's the ones that do the voting.
Para que se lleve a cabo la consulta. hay
So then that would make the it's like when you open up a case to legal proceedings. So he's mentioning that if the people want legal proceedings against the ex-presidents, then he would prefer that they be the ones who ask for it.
dos posibilidades. Una es que sea el mismo día de la elección federal.
And he says there's two ways you could do it. It could be the same day as the federal election,
el año próximo, creo que 6 de junio, y la otra posibilidad es
and it would be the proximal time would be about this 1st of June,
que sea, creo que en agosto.
and then I believe the next time would be in August.
Eso lo decide
That's when they would decide it
en la Suprema Corte.
with the Supreme Court.
Si es por solicitud de los legisladores o del presidente, tiene que aprobarse en las cámaras, y ya ahora estoy informado que se aprueba en las cámaras con mayoría simple.
And he says it would be approved by the House of Representatives with a simple majority.
Esto es muy importante.
This is very
Lo de la
important
consulta.
regarding the
Porque son
consult
2 días.
because it's 2 days.
La fiscalía hace su trabajo, los jueces hacen su trabajo, y si resultan implicados
So then the secretaries would do their job, the judges would do their work, and if they implicated
los expresidentes,
the ex-presidents,
hay que decidir.
they need to decide.
Y tenemos también que resolver entre todos.
And we also need to resolve between all of us,
Y desde luego tienen que participar constitucionalistas,
because then constitutionalists also have to participate,
tienen que participar abogados,
and
tienen que
attorneys
participar
also have to
los
participate,
integrantes tanto de la fiscalía como del Poder Judicial.
and so not only the legal department but the judicial department, legislators and judicial department need to be involved and participate as well,
Para resolver sobre el artículo 108 de la Constitución,
in order to resolve Article 108 of the Constitution
que establece
that establishes
que a los presidentes solo se les puede juzgar por traición a la patria.
that presidents can only be judged if they do traitorous acts against the country.
Este es un asunto
This is an important matter
que se debe de resolver.
which needs to be resolved.
Yo estoy porque si se va a juzgar a expresidentes,
And I feel that if they are going to judge the ex-presidents,
que sea mediante una consulta,
that it be done via a query or inquiry,
que sea la gente, la mayoría, la que decida.
and that it be the majority of the population that decides it.
Yo voy a votar en contra.
And he says, I am going to vote against it,
Tengo mis razones
and I have my reasons,
y las voy a exponer.
and I will expose them.
Ya las he dado a conocer y voy a
And I have let it be known before, but I will again.
seguir argumentando. Pero en la democracia el pueblo manda.
But in democracy, the people are bosses,
De todas
or rule.
formas, es un ejercicio único.
But in any case, it's a one-of-a-kind exercise,
Histórico,
historical,
porque la corrupción
because corruption
se solapaba,
was being covered over.
no estaba ni siquiera en el discurso,
It wasn't even discussed in the
no
official.
se hablaba de corrupción. Y es el principal
Discussions.
problema de México.
They
Y ahora,
they said it was
qué
a
bien
problem
que
of
todos
Mexico,
los días
but it's
se
good
hable de este tema,
that now every
Y no
day we
tener-
speak of this topic
ninguna preocupación.
and we have no
Y en
preoccupation.
cuanto a mi situación,
But relating to my situation,
no está de más decir
it is not too much to say.
tres cosas. Primero,
Three things. First of all,
precisamente para que no haya esta protección a los presidentes,
particularly so there won't be this protection for these presidents,
estoy solicitando que la primera iniciativa que se discuta y en su caso se apruebe
and I'm asking that the first matter that be discussed and in its case be approved
a partir del día 1 de septiembre
as of the 1st of September,
sea la de quitar el fuero al presidente.
and that would be to take away the protection from the president,
Para que el presidente en funciones pueda ser juzgado
so that the president, while in office, could be judged
por cualquier delito,
for any crime,
como cualquier ciudadano.
like any citizen.
Segundo,
Second,
que no voy a permitir que nadie
that I will not permit that anyone
lleve a cabo actos de corrupción.
do any acts of corruption,
Sea quien sea,
no matter who they are.
ya lo he dicho y lo repito,
And I have said it before, and I repeat it,
aunque se trate de mi familia.
even if it means one of my family members.
La gente nos dio su confianza
The people put their confidence in us
porque quiere que se limpie la corrupción.
because they want corruption to be cleaned out in a way.
Y yo no le voy a fallar.
And I will not fail them. Wow. Guys, this is probably already a very long video, so it looks like there might be a part 4 and a part 5. I think I have to stop it right here because so much time has gone by and I've got many things to do today. But anyway, I hope you found this interesting. I found this one to be particularly important because it gives a lot of information about how to go about and what the regulations are and what's needed in order to bring the ex-presidents, the corrupt ex-presidents, to justice. So I don't know, I just thought this one was very important to share. I hope that you will find it useful in the future. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.